All right, so we're at a peace festival, so I figure I should talk about peace and what that means. And to me, really the main thing I'm talking about, when I'm talking about peace, the way the state of the world is right now, I'm talking about reducing suffering. Because you can't have a peaceful world while there's still being violence inflicted on others, and while people are still suffering or other beings are still suffering. So the main focus that I think we should all have if we want to contribute to making this world a more peaceful place, is first of all look at where's the most amount of suffering happening, and then what can we directly do to contribute to reducing that amount of suffering. So I've been down this journey and I've come to realize that there's actually something contributing to more violence, more cruelty, more pain and torture and death than anything else, by far. But you might not think about it. You might not realize. We just go about our day, our everyday kind of life. We wake up in the morning, we have our breakfast, we drive to work, we do our 9 to 5, we have lunch, we talk to a few people, we drive home, have some dinner, watch some TV, read a book, and then we cruise to sleep. Seemed pretty innocent. I always thought that was a pretty innocent kind of way to live. Until I started thinking more about what am I doing when I'm eating these types of meals? What is the type of clothing I'm putting on my back? What kind of products am I using in the day? Before it all seemed innocent, it all seemed, nothing worth thinking about. Mundane. What I eat for breakfast? Mundane, mate. Not a big deal. But it turns out, by far, the most cruel, violent thing that the general public, that most people are contributing to, is our violence towards other species. The war we have waged upon the animal kingdom. We kill them for the most trivial reasons, such as taste, tradition, habit, and convenience. We wear them for fashion. We wear their skin. We kill them and their babies so we can put their milk on our cereal for breakfast. We take their eggs. We kill them because of that. We rip their skin off. We do so much cruelty, so much violence. And we've been taught that this is okay, that this is natural and it's normal and it's necessary. I believed that for many years, thinking that we had to consume animals to be healthy, to thrive, to survive. The truth is a very different story. Not only can we thrive without consuming animal products, but we are likely to be far healthier, reduce our chances of heart disease, cancers, diabetes, obesity, osteoporosis. In fact, 14 out of 15 of the biggest killers in the Western world can be radically reduced by not consuming animal products. Our consumption of animal products is also causing violence against the planet. It's a leading cause of deforestation and species extinction, habitat loss, ocean dead zones, and greenhouse gas emissions. We are destroying the planet in a very violent way. We are running in the opposite direction of what it means to create a peaceful world. And this is otherwise good people who don't know any better, just lack of education, lack of understanding. But we are so lucky because there's a lot of things we don't have control over. There's a lot of things we can't do anything about. A war in another country, there's not a lot we can do. A lot of things, like I said, we're not contributing to. But this violence happening to 1.5 trillion innocent beings, sentient beings who feel pain and suffer just like us, who have a heart and a brain just like us, with feelings and thoughts and families and communities, other species trying to live on this planet. And we are doing the worst types of violence and cruelty against them. But this is something we can change. So simple, so easy to create more peace, to reduce your contribution to so much suffering. Because isn't suffering the worst thing in the world? I mean, is there anything worse than truly suffering? So therefore, doesn't it follow that the best thing we can do is to come out of suffering. If you've suffered, you know how good it feels to come out of that. And if you're not suffering, then the next best thing you can do is to help someone else out of their suffering. That's how we increase the peace. Now, when it comes to our personal decisions, it's so simple. Instead of putting eggs on your toast in the morning, put peanut butter, put avocado. Instead of having cow's milk on your cereal, have almond, rice, soy, coconut, hazelnut milk, something else. Instead of putting mince in your spaghetti bolognese, you can have lentils. You can put something else in there like that. Instead of wearing an animal's skin on your back, you can wear cotton. You can wear something else. So we have these options. And what it really means, what this really means, what I'm talking about, there's a word that describes it all. The word is vegan. A word that for a long time I saw as extreme. I'm like, vegans, man, they're hectic. No animal products. I didn't understand what this was about. It's because all animal products are the result of exploitation and violence and killing. So it doesn't make sense just to go vegetarian and cut meat out of your diet when all animal products cause at least as much cruelty and killing. Vegan, mate, it just means you don't consume animal products. You don't support animal exploitation. You don't eat them. You don't wear them. You don't use them to test on for your perfume or for your shampoo. And you don't use them for entertainment. It's just about non-violence. Non-violence to the most vulnerable and innocent beings on this planet. That's what it's about. So step one, the first thing each and every one of us should do to contribute to making this world a less violent, more peaceful place is to become vegan. You can do it overnight. If you have to, if you feel like you have to, take steps towards it. Do whatever you got to do, but be aware that that's the goal and start at least moving in that direction. Step one is be the change. And step two is to help others do the same. Once you have gone vegan, fantastic. You're not contributing to violence anymore. You're not contributing to all this suffering anymore. But there's so much more you can do. You can inspire others to do the same. You can educate others. You can encourage others to do this too. And every single person can do this. Something that I've just really spent a lot of time thinking about is, can one person make a difference? Put your hand up for me if you believe that one person can make a difference. Brilliant. Hands down. Put your hand up for me if you believe that you can make a difference. That is so good to see. I wasn't sure what was going to happen when I asked that question. Every single person here is making a difference, whether you are aware of it or not. That Indian man said to me, eating animals is bad karma. And that has led to a lot of people being encouraged to become less violent, to cause less violence in their everyday life. He said one thing to me. He planted one seed. Every single conversation you have matters. Every single good thought you have towards someone else matters. Every single action has a ripple effect. And you have no idea how far that ripple will spread. You have no idea what that will do, who that will influence. You might influence someone that influences someone that influences someone that influences 10 million people. You just don't know. And that's why it's so important that step one is be the change, but step two is to be their voice. Be a voice for the animals in whatever way that you can, because they need it more than anyone else on this planet. And this is how we can all feel better too. It's about the animals, first and foremost, the justice that they deserve. But for us too, we can have such a better world. You know, put your hand up if you have come into this festival and you're just feeling the good vibes. The good vibes. I have been soaked in it all day. People just coming up, big smiles, happiness. You know, and after places like this, after visiting places like this, I leave and I'm buzzing. I can't sleep. I'm just so happy because I've been surrounded by so many positive vibes. This is a very good place. Consider the world that we live in, where so many people are stressed and depressed and anxious and tired. and they're drugging themselves with drugs or with television or with food, we feel so uncomfortable. Why is that? Think about all the violence happening. Think about that 1.5 trillion innocent beings being slaughtered every year for foods and products we're better off without, completely unnecessary. Think about all the suffering in the air. I believe that there is so much potential here for a better world for us all to live, where we all feel less stress and anxiety, where there is more peace and happiness and joy. And this is something we can all help to achieve. Last week, I had an experience where I gave a talk, and it was the first one I'd done in a while. And something was different about it, and I wasn't sure what. I did it, I said what I wanted to say, but something just felt different, and it wasn't good. And I was trying to figure it out. I spent a few days, what was that? Why, something's different, it doesn't feel good. I'm not really stoked on this right now. The passion, is that what's gone? And what I realized was that I'd stopped believing that I was making a difference. I'd stopped believing that it mattered. It was a speech of about 50 people. I thought, there's 50 people here. What good is this going to do? 50 people with such immense problems this world has. What is the point? And I felt instantly defeated. And I felt like, why bother going on? I thought I was maybe going to change and do something else. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. I thought, I don't know what the point is to this anymore. And I'm so glad I figured out what was wrong. Because I realized after thinking about this, that how wrong I was, that every single conversation, every single thing we do matters. And it doesn't matter, let's say generous number, that very, very generous number, that I've helped 10,000 people go vegan. Very generous number. But let's say that that was true. And then around the world, this has happened. 10,000 people have gone vegan. Has that actually made any dent in the amount of animals bred into existence? Possibly not. Possibly not. If there's a few people here and there, maybe not one single animal has literally been saved. Maybe not. But does that mean that the work we are all doing doesn't matter? No. Imagine if the people before us didn't do that work. Those people who really were extreme vegans, and they got out there when no one had heard of this, and no one had raised a child vegan, and no one had done this. Imagine if they didn't do that groundwork and build that foundation. Imagine if other people didn't then write some books and make some documentaries and do some speeches and make some delicious vegan food and build some websites and do some activism. Imagine if none of that was done. We wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be part of a revolution of peace, part of the fastest growing social justice movement of our time. We would not be where we are today. So every single one of those people who may not have seen a single animal saved, they all made a difference. It was building a foundation. And now it's up to us, no matter what we see change in our life, it is still up to us to do that work, to build on what they've already started, and so that the next generations can follow in our footsteps and build on what we have done as well. Every single person here has the potential to do something, to put something out there, to put out positive vibes and a positive message and encourage and inspire others to create change. And I believe that's our duty as people who know, because when you know, that only then can you act. We all know what's going on. We all have a duty to act, and we can all do something in our own unique way. So together, let's work, let's make it happen, let's make this world a kinder, more peaceful